You may or may not know that I'm trained in forensic psychology, and I've learned to go back and find out that there's a link in every chain. And this took place on Mother's Day weekend, and that he left on Sunday to go to Denver to work on a job. Would you expect that to be part of that relationship, or him to take off and her to go riding a bicycle on Mother's Day?
No, it doesn't sound anywhere near normal to me. And like I said, the EVI information on his truck didn't line up, Phil. He said he saw her at 5 a.m., and he did not.
And how do you know that?
Testimony from an employee that he was rambling down the road, texting people at 4 in the morning, trying to get them to go to Broomfield.
So
can't be at home at 5.
And talking to somebody on the road at 4.
Right.
So that the timeline doesn't add up at all.
No, not at all.
I mean, we was really upset that first night, but I was in Denver, so.
Oh, you were?
I didn't get here until 9 o'clock that night.
You were?
I didn't get here until 9 o'clock that night.
Why? 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 Hey, everyone. Welcome to the 321 Report. My name is Dusty, and I am the host of the show. I'm also the everything else of the show because I work by myself. I'm really excited to be here tonight. I showed that video clip because I wanted to. I've been hearing a lot of stuff, either in emails or comments or whatever, about that 4 a.m. timeline that Dr. Phil and Andy were just talking about. The reason I wanted to talk about that was because they're saying, well, she didn't say that Barry called her at 4 a.m. She said that she heard a truck outside of her house. Outside of her house that sounded like Barry's truck. She didn't know. I'm not sure what the truth is, but if any of you have, the reason I'm bringing that up is because I want to know this. And if any of you have that answer for me, like a clip, somebody saying that, like Morgan saying that or something, let me know, because I want to know if that's true, because it's important to this timeline that I'm putting together. Anyway, all right. I'm very excited to be here tonight. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. I am going to show you a letter. I think some of you probably saw it. It's from Leticia Stout. She wrote it to a judge. And it's really weird. First of all, it looks like somebody in like second or third grade wrote it, but not trying to make fun of her. It's just like the handwriting looks like that. So anyway, I'm trying to fix my headphones real quick. I am hearing an echo and I hate that. Let's see if this fixes it. Oh, I hope my mic doesn't go off now, but I fixed it for the moment. All right. My mic goes out. Make sure you guys let me know. All right. So the letter that I was talking about, let me show you that. So here is a letter. See what I mean about the handwriting? All right. It says, I don't want to read the whole thing. You guys can go find it. Lauren Scharf, she posted about it on Twitter or something like that. But she's talking about conflicts with her defense team and how there's a lack of kind of the same stuff that Lori Vallow was complaining about she didn't have privacy and stuff like that. So it's very interesting how when something comes up like COVID or whatever, people really jump on that to take advantage of it, especially inmates. And it says there's two things that she talks. Well, there's a bunch of stuff that she talks about, obviously, but because this is 4 pages long. But the first thing she talks about is that privacy issue. And then also she talks about how she has mental problems. And I don't know if she remembers, but the judge has already, let me get this off here for a minute. The judge has already found her fit to stand trial, so she might as well just stop telling the judge she's got mental problems. So she goes on and on and on about all this stuff and why she wants to defend herself and why she couldn't get along with her attorneys. So just let me read a little bit of it. So she talks about that stuff I said, and she said, one of the main issues with my attorneys is their lack of ability to gather evidence. Due to this, I find little value in the term expert in quotation marks. First, they were unable to obtain my medical health records from Charleston, South Carolina, when I finally paid a firm in South Carolina to obtain them. In 2016, I was diagnosed with, and then they block it out. I mean, we could probably guess some of the stuff she's diagnosed with, and received treatment before work for over 28 hours of care. I don't know what that means. But the school district did, she's not saying this, I'm saying this. The school district did let her work after this. And then, it says, sorry, the school district even provided extra services and later let me medically resign due to the ongoing reality breaks. So she's trying to establish that she has breaks from reality, probably going to use it as an excuse for murdering her stepson, Gannon Stout. And she even says, I will tell you this because it sets the stage for why I cannot work with my attorneys. I signed release forms for them to get all this information so they would have a better understanding of why I'm all over the place some days. Gosh. So this person thinks she's got mental problems, and she thinks she's going to do a better job defending herself than what the attorneys are going to do. I mean, why did the judge grant her that? That's just setting up for an appeal. So she goes through these little headers. Communication is broken beyond repair, inconsiderate of evidence, my evidence. I haven't physically seen any while being held at CJC for 1 year. Yes, COVID, but inmates were still being held as our constitutional rights were adjusted. Well, yeah, I guess she's not convicted yet, but she is going to lose some of her rights. I hope somebody's informed her of that. Overlooking statue. She means statute, I'm sure. She says statue. They overlook the competency statue. They've got a statue of competency over there in Colorado. Some people need to go look at that statue because a lot of crazy stuff goes down in Colorado. About video recording. Human error? Okay, but this happens often with evidence in which me, the non-expert, has to provide corrections to evidence. Sharing info. They are texting my family and giving them info that they should not have, causing, I don't know, whoever screenshotted this didn't wait for their little thing to go away, so I can't read that part. And she says, my judge, and there's all, so that's only page 2, folks. And I'm just going through this because you see some of the things, people that are facing this kind of stuff, some of the mental lapses they have. And we've been talking a lot about mental health last week, this week before that, week before last. So this plays into what we've been talking about. It's really interesting to me to see someone's state of mind when they're awaiting a murder trial. So, and they want to defend themselves. So, my judge, they filed that motion knowing this county would not grant me new attorneys to sabotage my chances of a trial by judge. They knew I wanted to present evidence to him without exposing any info on my son's father. However, they created incorrect conflicts instead of addressing the real issues. They could have filed the pro se, or whatever that said, only instead of talking about my defense to sabotage my trial by judge. Defenses. Indeed, I am innocent. Indeed, you are not innocent. But I will not put myself or others in danger running the defense against my biological son. Huh? When the system is letting two men run. I didn't know she had a biological son. Is letting two men run free who are involved. One is a prominent member of an independent business. They use the NGRI to get a hearing, knowing I'm not guilty, to cover up their lack of representation. Okay, wait a minute. I missed that part the first time I read this. So she's got this. I know she had some crazy stories when she started coming up with this defense of hers. Sorry, let me get this off right here so I can feel like I'm talking to people. So I know she had some crazy stories about people breaking in and doing all this other stuff and sexually assaulting her, and they killed Gannon, which is a bunch of baloney. I mean, it's obvious that she's involved in this. All right. What else does it say? The truth is, the court is holding the wrong person. Oh, well, let's just let her go. We didn't know. Thanks for telling us. For the wrong crimes. So there's other crimes that she... This whole process has been nefarious, from denying me an attorney. No, they didn't. You fired him. Threatening me in the bathroom away from cameras to confess. Taking advantage of me being delusional. Threatening my other kids' freedom. Or else, etc. I am going to help or keep making it known, sir, just how much the state has done in this wrongful incarceration. Sorry. She's a handful. All right. I wonder what kind of letters whoever is responsible for Suzanne missing would write. I will continue to be an advocate for myself because I'm not a murderer, and the level that the prosecution goes through to promote a wrongful conviction is absurd. Truth is, they could see a video from someone else and they would dismiss that person as a lunatic. They would have far too much invested in this wrongful incarceration. So she's saying if there was a video of somebody killing Gannon, they would just dismiss it and go ahead and convict her. That makes total sense. To admit they are wrong. For these reasons, and because my defense team is in cahoots with them, everybody, paranoid delusions. I can think of what she's diagnosed with. I am left with no other choice but to represent myself. Denying me my rights under the Constitution has happened throughout this process, from the detectives, the jail, and now my legal team. Every day I'm getting worse mentally due to inadequate representation and being held hostage for a crime I did not commit. These are my conflict issues and my reason for asking to go pro se. I think that just means she's going to defend herself, I guess. As always, thank you for your time. Crazy signature lady. Okay. All right. That's Leticia's letter. I didn't read what Lauren put. I just saw it on her Twitter because I was getting ready for the show, but I'd like to see a breakdown of this letter. I would guess that Paula from Plunder would probably do one, and I would guess that that Linda from It's a Crime would break this letter down and talk about it. I might later on. I might go through it a little better. I just saw it right before I came on the air, so I read through it, and then I missed some things, and then now read through it, skimmed through it, read a few things to you guys, and I just got to say that lady is cuckoo. All right, let's jump into this Suzanne Morphew case stuff. We've been talking for the last couple of weeks about the timeline And we got to around June. We're not going to go in any order today because I'm going to jump around, because one reason I want to jump around is because if y'all saw my weekend rundown video, there's a video of the girls, the Morphew sisters, saying happy birthday to a person that at least one of them has never met. Some guy named Chase, I believe. Yeah, let me pull that up. While I'm looking for that, I just want to remind you guys to, if you haven't already, I'd love that if you would subscribe to the channel. It's free. All you gotta do is click on that subscribe button, and there's a bell. If you ring that, you'll get notifications when I'm going to have shows or when I post something. So I would really appreciate that. Oh, let me find this. All right. I don't know where it's at right now. I'm going to have to wait for a second. Let me just talk about this stuff for a while I'm here. Nope. I thought I had it. Darn. Okay. That's just a thumbnail. Okay. So this is what I'll do. I'll start talking about this stuff, and if it pops in my head where it is, I'll post it and I'll talk about that. All right. So anyway, let's talk about, I gotta, this is weird. Okay. Let me start from right here. I started thinking about things I may have missed in this timeline when I started talking about it. One big thing I missed that I started thinking about yesterday was the fire on May 4th. If any of you or some of you don't know what fire I'm talking about, there was a fire close to the Morphew's house. And if you all don't know, Barry is a volunteer fireman. He's got buddies that are volunteer firemen. And what happened with that was there was a fire. Supposedly some branches fell on some electrical wires and started a fire. It was by this old cabin in a place called Arborville. Arborville is not too far from that. Some of you may remember Barry and Tyson's video talking about an RV park. If you watch Linda on It's a Crime, she talked a lot about this fire in that place. So I'm not going to go through all of that, but I do want to bring up a few things that I forgot that I had when I started thinking about that fire. I started going back and looking in my archives of information, and I found some really interesting stuff, and I wanted to share that with you all today. So this fire that I was talking about, like I said, it occurred on May 4th. I have the report from the fire. Let me grab that real quick. So here, I know I keep saying real quick, and it's not quick when I do it. The heck is it? Oh, here it is. I forgot it's a PDF form. So I'm going to have to share my screen after I do this. Okay. All right. Share screen, application window, PDF. Boom. All right. So what this is, if you can see this, if you can't, I'm sorry. I can barely see it, and it's right in front of my face. So what it is this somebody that I know requested did a FOIA request. That's a Freedom of Information Act request on the incident report of this fire. So remember that this fire took place May 4th 2020, right? Well, if you look closely, if you can see this, up here in the right-hand corner, it says that when this incident report was written, and it's 11/3/2020. I don't think they even wrote an incident report until this person I know asked for one. So I could be wrong. That could be a different what you may call it, date. But I'm thinking that's when this thing was written, but I could be wrong. So, yeah, I am wrong because it says the report was completed 10/11. Still, that's like 5 months, over 5 months. Okay. And it was, I got a video of this Robert Bertram I'm going to play in a minute, but what this gives all the information of what happened, supposed information. So before we heard that it was a branch that fell on the power lines and, did all the damage, caused the fire. Okay. Well, apparently, according to this, and by the way, it says mile marker 207, Highway 50, Garfield, Colorado. So it's really weird because they say that, but I don't think that's exactly where this was. But anyway, I'm not going to worry about that right now. What I am going to talk about is how big of a response there was to this. So anyway, all right. They say it was a forest, woods, or wildland fire. Is what they're saying. Okay, and they had 17 personnel on call, and total number of like fire. It says apparatus. Total number of those was 11. And what those are those are cars and fire trucks and all that stuff. I almost said crap, but those are important. Anyway, here's the narrative. I'll just jump into it. I'm kind of stammering along here, but this is the author of this narrative is a guy named Kent Maxwell. This is Initial Attack Incident Command. And it says dispatch to a wildland fire at mile marker 207 of Highway 50 on Monarch Pass. Brush number 5 was on scene. I think that's we'll see in a minute. I think that means a brush fire engine, I guess. With firefighter Stromer establishing command and initiating attack on north flank towards west hill of fire, anchored to the south shoulder of highway. On arrival, BC Maxwell transferred command and accessed east flank of fire from FS Road 226A by cutting chain at locked green gate, access to historic town site of Arborville. Tyson has a video. I don't know if it's still up or not. I couldn't tell you, but he has a video where he went in the snow and he went to this gate and he actually got video of that. So go look. He might have that. I'm not sure. It says forestry number 5 was directed to begin direct fire attack on east flank, head of fire, anchoring off 2-track road with progressive hose packs. CF1 and crew began burnout operation on southwest corner to contain area of heavy juniper. Sorry. Command transferred to CF1, worked on gridding interior to ensure extinguishment. Once fire was out, left scene to excel to work on downed power line. So it was a downed power line. It says fire was believed to have started from tree that fell into power line. So we heard that it was branches, but now we're hearing it's a tree. So I don't know what all this down here means. Just says end of report. Not much of a report, really. And the person that requested this wasn't very happy with what they got. So this is just all the apparatus, all the cars or whatever. Like this one says chief officer car. This one says brush truck, tanker. So that's all their vehicles. All right. So this gives a little, says heat source, electrical arcing, wildland fire cause, equipment, human factors contributing none, high winds. It's windy up there. At least it was when I was up there. And it says there's 5.75 acres burned. So, all right. So this is another interesting part. This is personnel on call. And if you scroll down, get down here to old Barry Morphew. He's a firefighter on T4. Whatever that is. I'm sure it's a truck or something. But you got all his buddies right here. To be honest with you, I don't recognize any other name besides Robert Bertram on here. So we do know Barry responded to this fire. So why do we care about this? Why is this interesting? Well, it's right by Barry's house. He responded to it. Let me get out of here. And I don't even know what I'm doing here. Oh, there we go. He responded to it. A lot of people wanted Tyson, when he was up there, to go check a cabin that was near this fire. The cabin wasn't damaged, apparently. But there was police tape up there when Tyson went up there. So I'm going to pull up something, and I'm going to try to read something, but I don't want to give away the person who sent it to me. So I'm not going to do it on the screen, just to let you know, because there's email addresses and stuff, and I don't want anybody here getting harassed for sending us emails or whatever. So just keep that info to myself. I'm sure they would appreciate it. They don't want to be known for, getting harassed for trying to help. So let me search this. All right. So I got a better idea how to do this. All right. I go to the last one, and then I can read them all at the same time. So I'm pretty smart. All right. So let me get up here to the top. So what happened was, okay, so I mentioned the police tape, and I'm going to read some of this email that this person sent to me. It says, police tape, Arborville. Tyson is talking about police tape at Arborville cabin. That could have been used during the fire for crowd control. There's not much of a crowd up there, so I doubt that. To keep gawkers back. Also, it could have been required by the fire marshal and U.S. Forest Service inspecting the fire when they thought it could have been human cause. May not be linked to Suzanne. Try not to read stuff that. Oh, it says right here. It says also a small branch on the power line would have been singed, arced, and thrown off and fallen on wet snow. Melt frost expanded ground. I don't see the small branch staying on the line to show that is what occurred. So this is the same person who sent me that fire report, and this person, as you can see, she was told it was a branch, but this email was written before she got that report, and it says it was a tree. So she's talking about that. Okay, this is interesting, as I haven't heard this before. She said it, but she asks, why do people keep talking of Barry disposing of a body? Other sites are discussing that he owned an incinerator, and there are bleached animal heads in his home. He possessed the technology to dissolve bone. Barry is a slob. I don't see him driving anywhere with a body and taking a chance of being stopped by a howdy doody firefighter buddy cops, business buddy, etc. Yeah, I don't either. But if she's got a point about the slob thing. I mean, go look at that plea he did for Suzanne. He's wearing this shirt that's all stretched out in the collar and it's dirty. And I don't know if he wanted to look like he had been out working to try to look for her or what, but yeah, he didn't look like he was taking very good care of himself. Okay, here I'll get to the meat of what I'm trying to get to. I'm doing this in the long way. I'm trying to get through it. My mind's racing, so bear with me. It says, I'm wondering if the fire on May 4th was a deflection away from the Colorado fire camp near George Davis's home and the new fire station number 5. If you guys want to know what that is, you can Google it. There's a fire camp close to where this is. And what it is, it's like this lodge and people go there to train and stuff. If you Google it, you'll see pictures of it. Just put fire camp near, let's see, where is it near? Actually, you can go to she gave me the link, www.coloradofirecamp.com. You know what? Let me just show it to you since she was nice enough to share it. I didn't know I couldn't have more than 3, so I had to shut one down. So here we go. So here's the Colorado fire camp. All these macho guys get together and they set stuff on fire and drink beer and do whatever the firefighters do when they're training. So anyway, there we go. There they are. I'm not making fun of firefighters. I'm just thinking about Barry and his buddies being up there and what they may have been into. Say they're even tagged Maysville, Colorado. So, who's that guy? Nah, too young. These look like youngsters. Yeah, they're pretty young. All right. Anyway, that's what that is. So let's get back to what I was saying. Excuse me. All right, let's get back to this. So it says, About Us page for the Colorado Fire Camp speaks of gentleman's call for GQ magazine at the bottom, and a Facebook page. And the Facebook page has been nuked. Is this the beefcake calendar Barry was participating in? So what this is talking about is there were some rumors going around that one of the reasons Barry was gone that weekend is because he was trying out for some calendar, but it turned out to be there was a calendar, but he wasn't down there weekend of Mother's Day doing that. But that did come up, which is funny. I wonder if Suzanne really wanted to spend money on that. Hold on, let me back up. What's the deets on the Colorado fire camp? Looks like they practice near a lodge. Is the lodge for fire camp? This looks like big business. Classes expensive? She's asking all these questions. I wonder if Suzanne really wanted to spend money on that. Why would he claim he leaves town for training when right down the street they have training? So we all know that didn't happen. He wasn't at training that weekend. So it says, I also wonder if the fire was intentional to bring attention to a firefighting need in the area near his home for Barry to get that new fire station and his and George's own little station domain near their homes to get their homeowners insurance. Yeah, I don't know about all that, but I am also wondering if the shooting range on the way to Broomfield has been looked into. I don't know what she's talking about. This is interesting. She said, I don't think Barry drove around with the body. Too many places buddies can snag him to talk, even during the night. Someone could see him, recognize his truck, and ask him what up. They just lifted the COVID lockdown there. How busy were the roads during the night? Body and truck risky. Yeah. This says there's a landfill right next door to a shooting range with access roads in between. How restricted is access there to an off-road vehicle? Cameras, fencing, gates? They're asking about all this. Drainage ditches running through there, and their landfill friends, employees in his circle. Yeah, that's true. I mean, there is a landfill by the Dyson place. I'm sure you'd have access to that since he works for them a lot. All right, since we were talking about firefighting, I wanted to show a video of this guy, Chief whatever, Bertram. I think that's how you say his name. Chief Bertram. So video file, hope it'll play this one.
Fox 21 tonight, a Mother's Day mystery. It's been 12 days since Suzanne Morphew vanished in Chaffee County.
The search efforts were underway today east of Salida for the woman who had reportedly went on a bike ride May 10th and never returned. Fox 21's Lauren Scharf has the latest on the investigation.
Investigators focused their search on the site behind me. It looks to be a new home construction site, but still no sign of Suzanne Morphew. Following up on a tip, agents with the FBI, CBI, and detectives with the Chaffee County Sheriff's Office sifted through this property near County Road 105 and Vanderveer Road. No official word on why they were searching here.
It definitely hit hard when we heard she was missing.
The Chaffee County Fire Chief Robert Bertram says he recruited Suzanne's husband Barry in 2018 to become a volunteer firefighter. The weekend Suzanne went missing, he says there were no emergency calls or training.
But we do have quite a few of these occurrences. So, a typical missing person, deputy is notified, assigned to it. They go up, try to locate their vehicle. They call out search and rescue teams, and it's that's just part of a normal thing. But this was different.
He tells me firefighters out of the Maysville fire station who work closely with Barry have helped the family search.
The last report I got from people is, he's definitely having a hard time sitting still. Pacing back and forth, constantly looking out the windows, hoping that he can see her, and going out, driving up the road, and trying to remember any suspicious vehicles he's seen in the area.
Fire Chief Bertram says Barry hasn't gone on a call since Suzanne's disappearance.
The initial report I got when they called me on Monday was that he's missing and they found their bike in a ravine, and that's all the information I've gotten.
As each day passes, more concern is raised as to what happened to Suzanne Morphew that Mother's Day weekend.
We're just hopeful that somebody will see her or something and bring her home.
Reporting in Salida, Lauren Scharf for Fox 21 News.
Okay, that video was May 22nd. That video was one day before. Hold on, I'm trying to find something. Oh, actually, it was 8 days before this picture was taken, but I thought it was the 23rd and this picture. Lauren looked more concerned than those two. All right. So another thing, I just wanted to, let me explain why I played that. I wanted to show, first of all, we talked about firefighting, so I wanted to show Chief Bertram because when this first all came out, Barry was saying he was at training. So when this was recorded, May 22nd, a lot of people still thought that Barry was training as a firefighter in Denver that weekend. And he said no. And so this told a lot of people, no, there wasn't any training. So that was out the window. I don't know where that rumor came from. Some people say it come from the Daily Mail and they had wrong information or whatever. I don't know, but we know that's not the case anymore. But one other interesting thing he said was Barry, up until that time, Barry hadn't been on a call for the fire department for that 12 days. I have heard that he has been on call since then, but I don't know if there's any truth to that. I do know there was a firefighter buddy of his hanging out at his house. I'll tell you guys a little story. I snuck into Salida back in October, and it was dark when I got there, and I already had a hotel booked, and I had to go to Walmart to get a couple of things, and I had my face mask on, of course, and when I checked out and I was walking out, I was behind a guy, and I thought, oh, there's no way that cannot be Barry because this guy was built kind of like Barry, and he was walking in front of me and I was walking behind him, and I kind of kept my distance, but I wanted to see what vehicle he got in because I couldn't see his face. And I'd never seen Barry in person before. So I'm walking behind him, and the guy walks right up to a truck that has a license plate on the back of it that says firefighter on it. Like, you know how they have the specialty license plates, like some are for veteran, you know, this one was for a firefighter, and my heart just starts going, and I'm like, oh no. First place I come and there's Barry. Well, come to find out, it wasn't his truck, and it wasn't him, but I thought, oh no, that guy saw me. And so I waited for him to leave, and then I went to the hotel and everything was fine. But then I went out and I did my drone work over their house and did all that stuff. And then I was getting ready to go back to Albuquerque because I only stayed one night. That's all I had time for. And I flew into Albuquerque, drove over there to Colorado, and then I had to drive back to Albuquerque to stay that night and get up and go home the next day. So I was on my way. I was going to go to Albuquerque because it was getting late. And I got this feeling like, no, I want to go try to find Barry's condo, you know, and see if I could see him out and get some footage of him. So I did that, and I started thinking, okay, this isn't a big place. Where would Barry live? And I'm like, he wouldn't live in no crappy place because he's too much about money and looks and all that. So I'm like, okay, there's this hill out there, and it's like at the base of these mountains, and it looks like that's where rich people live. You know, they got fancy houses. You know how it is. You know, you go further out and there's big houses. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to drive towards those houses. So I turn down this road, and you're not going to believe me, but I see Barry's truck. The first road I turned down. And I'm like, holy crap. So I go around the corner, and I'm getting nervous and anxious, and I want to, you know, I set my camera up inside the vehicle, and I drove by the condo, and I recorded a bunch of stuff. I'm not going to play the video, but I'm going to show you some pictures, because that same truck, I'm not lying, that same truck that was at Walmart was parked at Barry's house, at condo. Unless the guy lives there too, but it was right behind Barry's truck to where Barry wouldn't have been able to get out if that guy didn't come move his truck. So I just assumed they knew each other. So let me show you a couple pictures. So I don't know what truck that Tundra is. Like, it had Wyoming plates on it. Barry's truck is in the middle there, and I'll show you how I know that, because there's a video of Tyson recording that truck, and you can see the license plate in that video, and I got the license plate in this video. So I'll show you. And So here's Barry's truck. I mean, if you zoom in, you can see that plate number. I'm not going to blow it up or anything. But right here, that's Suzanne's, or one of the girls now, Land Rovers or Range Rover, whatever it is. I think it's a Range Rover. I thought this truck over here, this is a brand new Ford. I thought that might have been Barry's new truck, because when I was out there, that was when all the talk about him getting a brand new pickup was. But then somebody took pictures of him in Indiana with that truck, and it wasn't the same truck. So there's that firefighter's truck. If you look real close, there's a firefighter plate even on the front. It's about ready to fall off. But that's the same truck. And you could see why I thought maybe that was Barry's. It was dark. It's Ford. It's big. I mean, they both say 4x4 on the back, I think. So, and then I got to looking around at these photos, or this video. It's a video, and I just clipped these out because I don't really want to play the video, because I'm I'm pretty upset at this point, because it looked like they was having a party or something. But so I was going through the video yesterday, and I see this, because I was looking for his Bobcat, right? Because I'm like, okay, if that's Barry's house, his Bobcat's got to be around here somewhere. Because I was just at, let me see, I was just at the other place on Puma Path, and the Bobcat wasn't there. The trailer was, I saw that, but the Bobcat wasn't there. So I'm like, man, how has he got that Bobcat somewhere? You know, like he usually doesn't leave it out of his sight. So I'm looking all around this complex for it. I'm driving around like a nut. And then yesterday I see this. This is parked right down from his house. I don't know if you could fit a Bobcat in one of these things, but that's a pretty big trailer. I'm just kind of far away from it. So I'm thinking now that maybe he had it stashed in there. I mean, he's protecting that thing like it's a, you know, one of his kids or something. I don't know. But yeah, I thought that was interesting stuff. And today somebody sent me a picture of Barry's truck with a for sale sign on it. So it's just another thing he's selling, getting rid of, I guess. I took this picture from AK's Twitter, and I did a little doctrine on it. It says, "Is Barry and George hiding behind this tree with his bike here?" It says, "I told you the wheel was facing up." That's what Barry's saying. And he said, "I told you the police messed up the crime scene." George. I always got to do something crazy like that in these videos. All right. So I got that. I wanted to play for you guys a video. I mentioned it last week, and I read the article of what Troy said, but I didn't have the video at that time. But I have that video now, so I'm gonna play that. So it was really weird to me when I heard
Fox 21 special report.
Let me stop this. When I heard Troy talking, because you'll see what I'm talking about. You know how sometimes you read stuff they wrote, and you got this internal voice in your head thinking, you know, what they sound like. He doesn't sound anything like I thought he would. But Lauren Sharp's going to talk to him right now. This was back in, I think this was July 9th. I'm trying to remember, but I'm pretty sure it was July 9th. And I'm going to play the part where Troy speaks.
Investigators returned to a missing Chaffee County woman's home searching for more clues.
This after 2 months with no sign of Suzanne Morphew.
Hold on a second. For those of you who don't know who Troy is, Troy Skinner is one of Barry's friends from high school that is adamant about Barry not being involved in Suzanne's disappearance. Listen closely to the things he's talking about.
The mother disappeared on Mother's Day weekend after reportedly going on a bike ride.
Fox 21's Lauren Sharp spoke with a private investigator and a family friend about this case.
Scott and Taylor, Chaffee County Sheriff says he has more than a dozen investigators working aggressively on this case daily. They've received more than 600 tips. Here's a picture of the area where some believe Suzanne's bike was found off County Road 225. A private investigator tells me those working the case are being very methodical, and a family friend I spoke with wants closure for the family.
This is a terrible thing. A guy goes to work one day and the girls are doing their thing, and in a matter of minutes or hours or what have you, somebody's family's just turned upside down.
Okay, please tell me you didn't think he sounded like he's from like deep south, because he grew up in Indiana. I don't know why he sounds like this.
Damn.
Troy Skinner is a family friend of the Morphews. He grew up with Suzanne's husband, Barry, and visited the family after they moved into their Colorado home in Maysville.
They were the modern day Little House on the Prairie. I mean, everybody got along in that family.
During an elk hunting trip with Barry in Salida within the last year, Skinner says he spoke with Suzanne about her health and having no hesitations in going on bike rides alone.
She did talk about the bike ride. She liked it. She told me she felt safe and didn't feel threatened on them.
When Skinner got word that Suzanne didn't return from a bike ride on Mother's Day, he immediately asked Barry what he could do to help.
Hey, I'm here for you. You know, what can I do for you? And just letting him know we care about him and the girls. He said it's just very hard on everybody. You can hear it in his voice when he's talking to you.
He says there were never cracks in the relationship.
Okay, hold on. What relationship in the real world doesn't have some kind of problems in it? That's a bunch of crap. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just trying to like make his friend sound innocent, and he's not doing a very good job of it.
If Barry was involved, he'd get his punishment, and that's the way it should be. But I would lose all faith in humanity because he just doesn't have that in him.
Okay. You better get used to the real world there, Troy, because you're going to lose a lot of faith in humanity if you stick around the true crime stuff. I don't know. This was in July. Maybe he has lost it by now, but he hadn't lost faith in Barry, I'll tell you that.
Investigators say they have not eliminated any suspects and haven't discounted any scenarios.
So that goes against what Barry said to Tyson. Barry said he'd been cleared. So no, he hadn't been cleared.
Obviously very troubling.
Oh yeah, this is Dan Corsentino, private eye.
Suzanne vanished, if you will, and there's a lot of factors that are in play in this case that have come to light from my perspective.
Private investigator Dan Corsentino has worked in law enforcement for 25 years and was the former Pueblo County Sheriff and Fountain Police Chief. He says this case could take months and even years to reach a point of conclusion.
Barry and Suzanne owned homes in Indiana, and there was guardianship of those homes that Barry had requested after Suzanne's disappearance to protect, I'm sure, their financial interests. I think that they're looking at all of that, and they need the FBI's assistance.
After releasing the Colorado home back...
Okay, look right there. That's the Bobcat. You know what's interesting, and I brought this up a while back, there's a police tape tied to that, or crime scene tape tied to that Bobcat. I mean, it's if you go watch the helicopter video, it's tied right to it. And I was thinking, are they just tying it to that out of convenience, or is there a reason that they had that tied to that? Like it was some sort of evidence. That'd be interesting to find out.
To the family, investigators return Thursday.
They want to be very methodical in what they're looking for. Any hair particle, any type of blood splatter, any type of semen, anything at all that they're afraid that they missed.
Corsentino believes the timing of Suzanne's disappearance is especially unusual.
So who was celebrating Mother's Day with Suzanne? You would think that would be a day of celebration with her.
He adds those working on the case have questioned family members, friends, and any witnesses in the community multiple times.
It becomes a big jigsaw puzzle. You have to put that puzzle together based on the information that's consistent.
And the community remains puzzled.
I like that guy. I mean, I like Lauren's reporting too, but I like that guy's analogies of it being like a puzzle. I've used that before because it is a ginormous, I know that's probably not a real word, but a huge puzzle. And once you think you're getting it put together, it's like somebody comes and dumps a bunch more pieces on the table for you to try to look at. And it's crazy.
As this case goes into the 3rd month.
I mean, I think that the family right now, the best thing they can do is trust law enforcement.
We just keep praying that there's a happy ending involved.
Both men believe this case will continue and not go cold. I have the timeline of the search efforts on our website, as well as the tip line if you have information about Suzanne.
Good job, Lauren. She does a great job. Got to give her credit because she's sticking with it. All right. What do you guys think? That Troy dude's kind of off, man. I don't know. Why would he and Suzanne be talking about bike rides? Like, I understand maybe it's just, common courtesy to, hey, what have you been doing? Oh, I've been riding my bike. But what's he going to say? Aren't you afraid to go out there and ride your bike? Why would you do that to somebody if they're out there riding their bike? If they weren't afraid, maybe they're going to get afraid and be like, oh yeah, I shouldn't be riding my bike out there. Thanks, Troy. I think he just introduced that as a bogus, like he didn't really talk to her. I think what he was doing was saying, oh yeah, I talked to her. She liked her bike rides. She didn't have a problem with them. She did do them. Yeah, so Barry's story's not baloney because she told me she rides bikes. That's what I got from it. That guy. I don't know. I'm going to keep my mouth shut for a moment. All right, I got a few more things to talk about. I want to know this. We haven't heard this. I mean, I haven't. So if you have, let me know. Did Barry talk to his mother, Shirley, on Mother's Day? That's a good question. Also, when did Shirley arrive in Colorado from Indiana? Because she lives in Indiana. Because she was there May 31st. I know that for a fact because I see her on a video that Tyson recorded on May 31st. I know he recorded it on May 31st because I have the metadata in the original video right here on this computer. So, did he talk to her on Mother's Day? I wonder what they talked about if they did talk. Hey, Mom, happy Mother's Day. Your daughter-in-law is missing. I think a bobcat ate her. I mean, that's how he talked to Tyson. Like nonchalant, like he didn't, like it wasn't even affecting him if a bobcat dragged his wife up the hill, which they don't do. But yeah. All right. I want to show you something that I came across, and it has to do with Shirley. I'm not picking on the elderly, but she's a key in this, and I'm not going to not talk about, I'm going to talk about whoever comes into during my research. She seemed a little off to me. And I don't know, maybe she's just a fun old grandma. Maybe she's just crazy and does crazy stuff and just goofing off or whatever. But she looks a little off to me. So I was snooping around her Instagram because that's what I do to try to find info. And I found this video. I don't have the sound to it, but all she does is she says, "Are you ready?" And then she does her little thing she thinks is funny, which I think is mean, but you'll see what I mean. Watch this. So that's before. Here's this is before. Oh, what the heck, man? Why'd she do that? Wait a minute. She's going to give this kid some cake, and then, like, she just... Nope. She could have faked it, like she was going to give it to him, not give it to him, and then actually give it to him. Look at that poor kid. Look at Oliver. You poor kid. Give him the cake, Shirley. That's messed up. Didn't even give him the cake. I hope Oliver got some cake later. That's messed up, Shirley. Anyway, that don't prove she's crazy, but that proves her humor is a little weird. All right. So what's next on the old agenda? Okay. I know what's next. So do you guys have any questions for me? It's already been an hour. I can't believe that. Who had a Mother's Day service? They had a Mother's Day service, social distancing. Not sure what you mean, Teresa. I'd like to know, though. Yeah, I can too, but I'm just trying to... If it wasn't Shirley, I would have been like, oh, that's kind of funny, but give the kid some cake. But I'm a little irritated, so... All right, I'm reading comments, so sorry about that. Now I'm going to have to go through and read all y'all's stuff. Look like you're having a heck of a good time commenting on this stuff. All right, so there's a couple more things I want to talk about. One of them... Hello, everyone. Oh, there's two of me. I'm twins. So I was going to show that video of the girls. I found it while I was going through this stuff. So I'll give you a little background of what this is. So before my weekend rundown this weekend, I was getting ready to record some stuff, and then I somebody sent me this video. This is the only video, and it's probably gone by now because every time I post something, people take their stuff down. So this would have been on Holly's, Mallory's ex-roommate, Holly's Vimeo page, I guess. This was the only video on there. So they're trying to post stuff places, but I just keep people keep pointing it out, and so I play it, and then they got to go find another venue. So pretty soon they're just gonna have to email each other stuff and hope I don't get it. So what it is it's Chase's birthday. Chase is Holly's boyfriend, I think, from what I gather in this. But the girls, I guess she got a bunch of people together and wanted to get videos sent to this guy, her buddy or boyfriend or whatever, and wish him happy birthday. Well, the Morphew girls did. We know for a fact from watching this that Macy doesn't know this guy. And I don't know if Mallory does or not. She just says, Macy's excited to meet you. So I assume Mallory's met him at one point. But yeah, just watch it. It's Mallory's friend. I'll probably say the same stuff right there.
Hi. Happy birthday, Chase.
All right, I'm going to back it up. What am I doing? So we've never heard these girls speak. At least I haven't. Me neither. It's weird I'm talking to myself here. I'll just blur this stuff out. Yep, blur before I post it. Mm-hmm. But it's Chase's birthday, Mallory's roommate and friend, Holly's boyfriend, apparently. And here they are.
Birthday, Chase.
All the way from Mexico.
I hope you have the best birthday today.
And we can't wait to see you.
Yeah, we can't wait.
Macy can't wait to meet you.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're the best.
Bye. Bye.
You're the best.
Hey.
I don't know who that lady is. All right. I was not happy when I saw that. And I told y'all that they were going to Mexico. I said that in December, that they were planning on going to Mexico. That's what I heard. They went there. They were there January 8th. That video was taken in January. And Holly was there with them. So she probably just said, hey, will you take this video? So, yeah. Crazy. I'm just, when is Suzanne's birthday? April 30th. Let's see if there's a video to Suzanne on April 30th. Anybody want to put a wager on it? I bet the farm that there ain't no video coming out. Any takers? Yeah, I didn't think so. Yep, they were on a church trip, all right. You could tell. Yeah, there wasn't no bike ride. There wasn't no church camping trip. What else wasn't there? There wasn't a lot of stuff. Jeez. All right. So another thing I want to talk about that I remembered that I did a video that was kind of trippy, that I was just like commenting, and my other self that was recorded was doing. I don't watch these videos, so it's weird for me to watch them. I mean, I really don't ever watch them. I know y'all probably think that I'm full of it, but I watched, usually I don't, I should say, but I watched this one today because I had to. But what this is if y'all remember back, and it's not posted right now, but I'm going to repost it. It was a couple of videos I did. I think it was like episodes 8 and 9 or something of the 321 report, and this is episode 26. So it was a while back. But what I did was I talked about Trevor Noel and Sarah Noel. I was calling him Noel back then because that's what I thought it was. Somebody corrected me, so we'll see. But who knows? I don't know how they pronounce it. But anyway, I did a breakdown of Sarah Noel's blog posts after Suzanne went missing. And I pointed out, well, you'll see, I'm going to play the video, and it's a few minutes long, but I made a time. I didn't remember this till I watched this video, but I made this timeline of Trevor Noel and what he did. And I might have to post that and I might have to go find it. I couldn't find it today, but of the stuff he did and the posts that were on the internet at the time before they just scrubbed all that stuff off. So I'm going to play a little portion of this, and I wrote down the times in it. I don't want to play the whole thing because it's long, but I wrote down times that are interesting. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I get it. So it's another one of these things that is weird because I hate watching myself. I really do. So, all right. So 144. This is a little introduction to what I'm doing. And then I'll skip around a little bit. So the urge to grab the mic. Anyway, welcome.
Well, I was talking about people complaining about me grabbing the mic.
I posted a few days ago about a report that I wanted to put out, a 321 report, in regards to Trevor Noel and in regards to his wife, Sarah Noel. The reason that I bring up his wife, Sarah, is because there was a blog up on the Wander Unlimited page talking about what Wander Unlimited is Trevor's business page. They do website design, graphic design, stuff like that for people. Well, they did. I don't know if they still do it, but I call it Squander Unlimited because they're like squandering away the GoFundMe stuff. So that's why I call it that. Their trips through the summer, different places they went, different things they did, and it disappeared after a few videos and other things came out, tweets came out, like the day after our last video about Trevor. So just commented to go back and look at that blog, and it was gone. So somebody in the comments section, one of you, sent me a link to his wife Sarah's blog. So I went and read every blog post she has made since. Well, there was a break from March 27th to June 20th of this year. So I started at June 20th to see what she had to say. So I'm going to get to that in just a little bit. All right. So I'm going to skip forward. So what I'm saying is, if you didn't follow that, because it was kind of confusing, but what I was saying was they used to have a blog on the Wander Unlimited page, but I started posting about it. So all of a sudden it disappears. So somebody sent me a link to Sarah's blog. And so I went and I screenshotted all of her stuff and I read all of it. She's a pretty good writer. I mean, I'm not going to lie. She's a good writer. But if you looked at the stuff in the context of what she writes, which I'm getting ready to show you, if you look at it in the context of this was after Suzanne went missing and you just analyze her words with that lens on, then you'll get what I was trying to say. So there's a bunch of stuff in the middle where I was talking about Trevor and his interviews, but then I jumped. All the ones from June 20th on, I read them, and they're good. Go check them out. But there is some stuff within them that I want to talk about. So from March 27th all the way to June 20th, no blog posts. I think there was blog posts before this because I think she can't help herself. She writes on the blog. She writes for this thing called Serenity Magazine. She's writing all the time. So you're going to tell me from March 27th all the way to June 20th, she didn't have any posts? I don't believe that. I think she took a bunch of stuff down. And yeah, so when I saw it, it started at June 20th. And she seems to be one that writes a lot. So that's anyway. June 20th, she posts a blog post that had some interesting things in it. I'm going to read just a couple excerpts from it. That's what I did on a few of these. I took a little excerpts that, keeping in mind that in the context of Suzanne being missing, I took what I thought was pertinent to that. So here's the first one, and the title of the blog is "Time is a Human Construct," and this was published on June 20th, 2020. Wasn't there, I'm quoting now, wasn't there ever a time when you weren't wanted and you only wish someone would see your infinite and divine goodness? We say we can't wait for what comes after, and we pretend what happens doesn't matter. I missed a word. Just like I said, think of these in the context of Suzanne is missing. Okay, the second one I want to share is called Personhood. This one's weird, especially if you think of it in the context of Suzanne. This was published on June 26, 2020. Am I a person because my body is full of organs, ones that pump blood and oxygen through to each end of a package all tied together with skin? That's weird. It's weird. Am I a person because I stand upright physically? Am I a person because I stand upright morally? Do I cease to be a person if I cease to do those things? I didn't realize I was making. I wonder why you are so quick to tell me why I'm wrong, to tell me that you know better. And how does your assuredness in your own opinion take precedence over mine? So this is interesting because this is a blog post. I'm going to stop for a second. I need to go back and watch these because I didn't realize I was doing like the faces to the camera and stuff. That's pretty funny, if I do say so myself. Kind of like The Office or something. Like I stop and I look and then I go back to it. It's funny. Anyway, don't mind me. Who's she talking about right here? Who's telling her she's wrong? I may have an answer for you. So she not only writes a blog, she writes for a magazine. And this magazine is called Serenity or something like that. I think it's only in Colorado. It is. But I'm telling you, eyes are terrible.
I got new glasses
That's not
now.
a good thing for a photographer. So I'm going to try to I'm going to do my best to read this little bitty writing, but this is an article that came out in June of 2020, just like this blog post, and it gives a little more insight. First of all, I'm going to tell you this. I searched in the blog. There's a thing where you can search for words or whatever. I searched the name Suzanne. I'll show you. I did a video of it, and I'm going to show you. So, search Suzanne. 0 mentions in her blog about Suzanne. So keep that in mind when I read this. This month, my family experienced an unfathomable tragedy. Yeah, I mean, Suzanne really did, but you guys, I could see it was unimaginable in the sense that it felt like something that should happen to a stranger. Well, I hope it doesn't happen to anybody, but I get what you're saying. Not a member of my family. It was a primetime news feature about someone else far away. How do you begin to wrap your mind around something like that at all, let alone when it happens to someone you care about? Okay, I'm not trying to say that I know how Sarah Noel feels about Suzanne or felt about Suzanne, but this is the only time in all of her writings, which there's a lot since Suzanne went missing, that she mentions Suzanne, but she didn't even mention Suzanne. She didn't say Suzanne's name. People know who she's talking about that know the case, but she didn't mention her name at all.
Still
and that's
hasn't.
Strange to me. It's really, really strange, especially when you say you care about her right there. I'm not saying she doesn't care about her. I'm sure she does, but there's a reason that she's not mentioning her too. And it's hard to talk about people when you know something happened and you're close to it. So, all right, here, I'm going to continue. Processing these emotions is like walking a path in your mind. It didn't take long for my road to diverge. I had to allow part of my brain to continue on its journey of grief. Okay, grief. This is written in June of 2020. Suzanne had been missing for about a month. I get it. That once they're gone for so long that not a month, you don't, it doesn't look good. But Barry's out there saying, we're going to find her and we're going to do this and that. Why would you use the word grief here if you don't know that she's dead? If you don't know something horrible happened and she's no longer alive, why are you grieving already? Exactly. And I know people use that word in different contexts and all that, but let me continue. That just shot out to me. And I'm just giving my opinions. I'm not trying to hit that mic cord. Sorry about that. But I'm just giving my opinion about why she would use certain words. And what I think is she may know what happened at this point. So I want to reread that last. It says, I had to allow part of my brain to continue on its journey of grief, to sort out the bewilderment and the worry, to feel the heartbreak and the fear, and then try to overcome those emotions before they took hold of my heart. Okay, I want to break this down. That word heartbreak, I don't think that she's referring to the heartbreak because Suzanne's gone. I think her heart broke when she found out when her husband told her what he knew. And the fear comes from the person he found it out from. I still believe that. It also comes from, okay, now I know this secret, and what are we going to do about it? And so she's afraid, because if they know anything, especially if Trevor knows, then he can get in a lot of trouble, and then she's without a husband. So there's the fear part. The worry also, she used the word worry in there. So The other trail, the new road where the path split, was a march of defense that I was forced into. This trail was wrought with opinions and accusations, rubbernecking and self-important righteousness, mostly from onlookers who didn't even know who I was. I didn't know who you were until I found this blog that somebody told me about. I didn't know your name. I knew Trevor was married. I didn't know who you were. Here's the big one. And I may be reading too much into this, but I don't think so. And how could they understand what had happened when even I didn't understand? Think about it, folks. Why is she using the word understand there? How could they understand what had happened when even I didn't understand? Okay, here I think most people would use the word know. And this is just my opinion. I'm going to read it, and instead of saying understand, I'm going to say no. And how could they know what had happened when even I didn't know? That makes way more sense. You use the word understand when you know what happened and you're trying to understand why it happened. So I get that they know that Suzanne's gone, but we're trying to find that out. We're not trying to understand it at that point. We don't want to understand. Understand means something happened and then you want to make sense of it. There's no making sense when somebody vanishes unless you know what happened. Okay, let's put it into context here. Let's say in a rage, this is just hypothetical. Let's say in a rage, Barry killed Suzanne. Let's say hypothetically, he freaked out and he told somebody close to him, his nephew, Trevor. He told him around May 17th, let's say hypothetically, because before that, Trevor's this spokesman for the family, created my GoFundMe page, created a Facebook page, and then it's after May 17th, crickets, nothing. So let's say Barry did this. He has to talk to somebody about it. Who else is he going to talk to besides the person that's going out in front of the camera? Maybe he said, hey, I don't want you to talk about this anymore, man. And Trevor's like, what? And, he's like, okay, let me tell you what happened. It's an accident. It's an accident. I promise. Anyway, let's just say it happened this way. Let's say Trevor found this out, freaked out a little bit, got, really quiet because of it. What is he going to say? I mean, he goes on camera or he talks to somebody. He might slip up. He might say something that he knows. Not saying he did anything wrong besides keep all this to himself if it happened. But let's say he couldn't keep it in either. His wife could tell something was wrong. Sarah could tell. So she's asking, what's going on? What's going on? He tells her, this is what happened. So take that context and then let me read this to you again. And how could they understand what had happened when even I didn't understand? Okay, that makes more sense to me. I don't understand how Barry could do something like this. So how do they know why he did it? Or how they understand it when I don't even understand it? And I'm close to the family. All right. So I'm going to repost that so you guys can go back and watch the whole thing if you want to. But I think it's really interesting that now that I've come up on this, possibly somebody else did this, how it also fits in, just like what Brenda's saying here. Or he told them one of the girls accidentally killed her and he had to cover it up. That actually makes probably more sense than what I was just saying on that video. Just because what's the chances that somebody in that family, they look like a pretty tight-knit family. What's the chances one of them is going to be like, oh no, we don't care if one of those girls goes to prison. We got to do what's right. I mean, they're probably just minding their own business, and that makes sense why they would be so quiet. I don't think they would even be that quiet if they knew Barry did something. I don't think so. So, just my opinion. I mean, I don't know. None of us really know. I wish I knew. I wish we knew where Suzanne was. I know a lot of you think, oh, well, we should just, I mean, I saw, here, let's just put it up here. So, serendipity. Suzanne's daughters are young, and personally, I feel we should err on the side of being gracious and really think before we speak right. Yeah, I did that for a long time. I would talk to Tyson about this months ago, but it never seemed like a thing that I should bring up. I mentioned it once and there was a lot of backlash because of it, way more than there is now. Now it's like people are like, yeah, why are they doing this? Why are they doing that? Because it's weird. It is weird. Because we all know, well, we all assume what we would do in this situation. Some of you may know because you've been through similar things, but because I've read your emails and I've read your comments and I pay attention to that stuff. And I appreciate you all sharing that stuff with me when you do, to the tragedies that happen in your lives. But I see a lot of people bringing certain things up. Well, they're scared of Barry. Does it really look like they're scared of their dad? Come on. They're not scared of him. They also said maybe law enforcement told them to be quiet. And somebody commented on one of my videos and said today that maybe their lawyers told them to be quiet. Well, the lawyer, I would, and this is what I wrote in response. I said, I wouldn't think that the whole Shirley Morphew, Roger Morphew clan, like Barry's sisters and their kids, and Barry and his family, I don't think that they all have lawyers, and law enforcement or the lawyers told them to be quiet. I said law enforcement, I meant lawyers. But yeah, that's not, I could see where, this is what I wrote. I could see where Barry might have a lawyer, which I don't even know if he has a criminal defense lawyer or not. I know he's had some lawyers to do all this, guardianship crap, but they've excused themselves or they fired themselves or whatever. Barry fired. I don't know what happened, but they're no longer his lawyers. And I think that's because he doesn't need them anymore, because they weren't for this. They were for that stuff, the money stuff. I know we heard stuff that the girls have got their own lawyers. That rumor came from a kid Tyson talked to at a bike shop that doesn't know them personally. I mean, one of them said one of my friends was dating one of the girls, but he doesn't know them. He doesn't really know anything about this. So I get where you're coming from, and you want to believe that something's not wrong, and you're just, like you said, err on the side of caution. But I mean, you can only do that for so long. You have to ask every question, even though it's uncomfortable. Getting to the truth is very uncomfortable sometimes. Would one of the girls stick up for the other? Yes, I do believe they would. I also believe that I believe that it is very possible that one girl knows something or may have been involved in something, the other has no idea. She might have been lied to. And, maybe she knows by now, but I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that you can go look at that's really eye-opening. That sets a backstory to all this. And I'll probably present some of that soon, but it's the family dynamic type of stuff that they had in their family. And I don't know what that is except for what I see. And I see a lot of stuff on Suzanne's Twitter that leads me to believe certain things are going on that maybe shook up that family dynamic, and it's not as perfect as what Troy Skinner says it is. Like Little House on the Prairie. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Little House on the Prairie, they're always fighting with each other and having all these problems. Why do you think they have shows? They resolve problems, but they have problems. He's trying to make it sound like everybody's all unicorns and rainbows and stuff over at the old Morphew house. It's not how life is there, Troy. Even though you worship Barry, I know it's hard to believe, but, you know. I see there's a quite, I mean, I don't have time to go through all these, but man, you guys are really having a conversation here on the comment section. I wonder why David Mormon has nothing to say. That's a good question there, S. Brook. I see you're stirring up stuff again, S. Brook. I like when people come in to get people going and commenting, because that means there's a lot of opportunity to state opinions. And I just want you all to be respectful to each other, because like I said, we don't know what happened. Everybody has their opinions, and I think that we could like learn from things that people bring up. It's interesting. I pulled this comment up because I saw that there's a stepbrother of Suzanne's that mentioned Barry not too long ago. I'll pull that up if I can. His name is Carrie Hasty, and the way they're stepbrothers is Suzanne's dad married his mother, so he became her. And I looked at his Facebook and all this stuff, and what he said was, here, I'm going to pull it up. I'm not going to show it on the screen because I don't want people. I'm sure some of you have seen it because it was posted in a few groups, but it's still, I mean, I know a lot of you don't do the whole Facebook groups, which is really good because they're really toxic sometimes. There's good info there, but I'd rather not wade through it to try to get to the nuggets. All right. So this somebody in some Salida, Colorado, something or another, I guess it's one of these Facebook local pages things. This person asked, what's the best church to go to in the area that is family oriented and has Sunday school for kids? This person asked this question. I guess she's new to the area. So what does old Carrie Hasty say? Well, I'll tell you. Carrie Hasty, Suzanne's stepbrother, says the person's name, and he says, no, LOL. I'm sorry, huh? Oh, wait, that's the wrong one. Sorry. All right. He says North Avenue Church of God. And she says, is that in Salida? And he says, no, LOL. I'm sorry, hon. I'm in Michigan. My sister is Suzanne Morphew from your area. That's why you popped up. She did find a good church there before she disappeared. God bless and stay away from Barry. And then she says, who is Barry? She probably has no idea who Suzanne is or anything. And then this is what he said. And he says, my sister's husband. So, yeah. You know what side of the fence he's on there, huh? Anyway. Crazy. I don't know why David Mormon ain't saying nothing, but Carrie Hasty, David Mormon's stepbrother, doesn't like Barry apparently. So stay away from Barry. All right, what else I got? I mean, they're going on an hour. We're already at an hour and a half. I think I'm gonna look at comments. I'm gonna save some of this stuff for later. Trying to think of what I didn't talk about, but I guess what I did talk about makes up for what I didn't. Oh, I know I could find out. I got my little folder that has all my stuff here for this episode. I didn't get to half of it, but you know how that goes. Oh, here's an interesting picture that I just thought that was interesting. So that didn't make any sense. Here's an interesting picture that I thought was interesting. All right. This was on Shirley's Facebook page. Shirley says, Mallory is just like her dad. I didn't say it. Your grandma did. I'll show you who said it. This one. Eyes. Don't do that to me, Shirley. You scared me. Oh, I wanted to show you all this. This comes from my hometown. I follow this guy because he's the guy, not my hometown, but where I live now. This guy is a photographer here in town, and he has a Twitter, and he has a scanner at home, a police scanner. So he'll post on Twitter everything that comes across there. It's pretty entertaining. This one's pretty funny. Say, caller reporting a deceased subject near a dumpster behind the Kroger on Scottsville Road. And then then he says, subject was just sleeping. It's funny. Hey, there's some dead guy over here behind the dumpster. All right, we'll be right there. They go to pick him up to put him on the slab thing. Hey, what are you doing? No, he ain't dead. Oh, I'm going to go to the comments. You guys are fired up in these comments, aren't you? All right. Man, looks like S. Brooke is taking over. Homophobia. What are you guys talking about in here? Oh, yeah, I see what she's talking about. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think that that's appropriate probably to say that, but I mean, the worst things are being said, I guess. But yeah, let's just try to keep it civil, people. Martin. I like Martin. He's funny. Oh, yeah, I got one more thing to show you. Martin sent me something. It says, do we believe Suzanne was seen by Airbnb cleaner and Scott the bike guy? I'm not so sure. Well, apparently the Scott the bike guy is not talking, so we don't know that. I heard he worked on her bike, but I'm not sure when that was. And I'm not sure if the Airbnb cleaner, when that was either. So I don't know. I'd like to see some proof of that. All right. I'm going to show you guys something Martin sent me. I thought it was really funny. Martin's got some good theories and some good ideas, but this one he sends me funny stuff every once in a while too. We have trouble like with the computer stuff sometimes getting it to me, but this one guy here, he did a version of the Guess Who game. Do you guys know what that is? So let me get back over here to my pictures. So you got the Bobcat, a human trafficker. You got George, Sarah, Macy, Barry, Jeff Cassidy, E.T. He said E.T. because Jeff Puckett said, I don't know, aliens. I don't know. Yeah, Trevor, Holly, Mallory, Tony. I think that's supposed to be Troy, but you know, Speedy. And there's Scott, the bike guy. I guess that's the Scott. That's pretty funny, Martin. Good job. That one looked just like Troy. All right. Oh, Mallory has a boyfriend named, that's a weird name, for years. And now she has a new boyfriend, so no. But even if it was, not a thing wrong with that. Yeah. I mean, who's her boyfriend? Is it that JP Wentworth? I mean, fourboard? I don't know. We do need to know everything. That's what Daniel's saying. I don't think we should be calling people. I mean, not that it's bad to call somebody a lesbian or whatever, but I mean, I guess if you're saying it in a certain way, it's, I mean, if she is, she is. I mean, everybody probably now in this day and age knows somebody or is related to somebody who is a lesbian or is gay. And I mean, yeah. So it's not like it's just because they're saying it, it's a derogatory thing. I mean, unless that's, I don't know how he actually said it, but anyway, I'm more interested in what she said here about she has a new boyfriend. And if it's that JP guy or JD or what was his name? JG Wentworth, JD Hogg, Boss Hogg. Yeah, this is a good point. So she claims not to know the girls, but she's claiming to know everything about them. Yeah. Fourboard, yeah. Is that the one you're talking about, S. Brooke? Is that her boyfriend? I don't think that S. Brooke is. He's 7-7 cash now. I don't think S. Brooke is related to the Morphews. Just I've seen her a bunch of places and just doesn't seem. Yeah, that's one thing that I've wondered about. Okay, if it isn't her boyfriend, or if it wasn't back in May when if JP, whatever, if he wasn't her boyfriend back then, why was he on the GoFundMe? Why was he one of the whatever you call it, beneficiary guys or whatever? You're welcome. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's not, because I've talked to her before in like comments, and then I don't know if I've emailed with her. I can't remember. But yeah, I think a lot of the times that she's playing devil's advocate. She might even have told me she does that. But anyway, I think she does believe a certain way, but I also think that she likes stating facts and getting you guys talking about it and trying to get you to prove your side. And that's good for conversation. That's good for finding things out too. And yeah, I invite all of you guys to do that and give your opinion. Hopefully everybody's going to be civil about it. And I might tell you you're loco or something sometimes, but I won't do that very often. That's pretty funny. Is that her hiding in the bush? Is that because of her icon she had on there? Okay. I mean, I didn't see all this going on because I was busy talking, but hopefully you guys are being cool with each other, because I can't go back all the way to that. I'll have to do the replay and look at it, but yeah, that's a good question. Where's I like Shelby. I mean, I like all y'all, but Shelby's one of the ones that have been around for a long time, you know, with the Draper brothers, and then now, and she's one of my longtime followers. So this is a great question, Shelby. Why aren't they talking? That is a great question. I don't know. I can't think of a reason why they don't talk. I mean, I can think of some, but it's not in their favor. Yeah. One of the weirdest things in this whole thing is Trevor was so gung-ho, came out just in the forefront as the spokesman, started all this stuff, GoFundMe, the Facebook page. The Facebook page is the weirdest thing to me because he was posting like nonstop on there, like several times a day, and then one day it just stopped. And then it took him like months to post anything else, and it was a change of the website address. So just so weird. I don't understand. Hey, Joy Catcher. Who knows what he told them? Yeah, who does know? Or who knows what they told him? I did hear something one time that makes me, this is before any of this thought of these girls being in any way involved. Somebody from up there wrote to me and told me that they ran into the girls at Walmart. Walmart's a big thing there. I know we talked about it earlier. And Macy started talking to this lady, and all she was doing was asking how she was doing and if they heard anything. Well, Mallory was checking out, and she sees Macy talking to this lady, and she didn't even finish paying and all that stuff or getting her stuff. She went over there really fast and said, "What are you guys talking about?" And like took Macy, and they took off. She said that was really strange. And she said she felt like Macy's kind of naive and Mallory was really worried. So that's just something I heard secondhand. So take it as you want to take it. But yeah, I would get that if her cancer wasn't recently, like if they didn't give her a clean bill of health. But if the girls believe that and know that her cancer was beaten again, that would make no sense. I'm not saying you don't make any sense, because they could have. After watching that video, I think that girls will believe pretty much anything. I mean, they seem pretty, I don't know, just my opinion. They didn't seem real. I mean, we weren't talking to like, or we weren't watching like Mensa people there, I don't think, but not that I am or anything, but maybe. But I'll tell you this. I would want to lose my dad if he killed my mom, you know, I mean, so. So somebody asked me a question about if I saw something. Happy little accidents. One of my favorite pictures there. Dusty, did you see Teresa's earlier comment about how Barry bought farmland near a big lake up north near Arcadia? Nope, I didn't know that. I can tell you this, and I forgot about it until just now. When I was doing my research a while back, I'm going to have to find these pictures and the address, but Trevor Knoll owns a property in Broomfield. And I got a picture of it, and there was like, I forgot about this until just now when you asked me this question. There was like mounds of dirt in the front yard. That ain't no joke, and I forgot all about it until just now. I'm going to have to go back and find that. I got so much information on a few different hard drives and stuff that I forget where everything is. I'm going to have to just organize because there's stuff coming out of my ears. Plus, some of it's in emails, some of it's in messages. So, anyway, yeah, Evergreen. See, you know what you're talking about, Martin. You might have been the one that sent that to me. That's right. I think he lives in Evergreen right now. I think they have land or a house in Broomfield that they rent out. I could be wrong. I don't know. All right. Man, I need to wrap this up because I'm pushing 2 hours, but then I get sucked into y'all's comments over here, and yeah, a lot going on. Oh, that's nice. Thank you, Sally. One of the nicest people I've ever met. I mean, you're nice too, Sally, but there's another Sally I know. And she's a friend of our family. She's one of the best people I know. She's awesome. Her and my wife are really good friends. And we would go to church with her. So anyway, she's awesome. You know what sucks is about this COVID stuff is like the human contact. Like, I mean, just going up to people and hugging them and shaking their hands and stuff. That doesn't happen anymore. You ever notice when you're like watching movies or TV shows or something before COVID, you're watching them now and they hug or something. You're like, oh, I do that. I'm like, it's weird, but I miss that stuff. So anyway. Can't wait to get back to normal. If hopefully we will someday. So one other thing I want to mention, I'm still not monetized, but I was hoping to get that soon because I want to be able to do the super chats and all that stuff, because what I'm trying to do is I would love to go. I heard there's going to be a vigil for Suzanne on her birthday in Salida. And I would love to attend that. I have a lot of time off saved up, and I could do that. But I was hoping to get monetized and all that to get some help to do that. I'm not begging for money or anything, but hopefully by that time, I can get some kind of donations or something to help me do that. And what I was thinking about was having like a contest or something. I've got a lot of, I mean, hundreds, maybe, well, definitely thousands of photos in my archives. And I've been going through them, and there's a lot of cool stuff in there. And I was thinking maybe we have a contest, and the winner can get like a photo from me. I mean, I know I don't talk a whole lot about my photography career, but it's kind of awkward for me to be honest with you. I was raised not to like brag and stuff, and I'm not trying to brag, but I've been blessed with some talents that God gave me that I've had to hone and to craft into a career. So I've been lucky enough to be part of associations that give out awards and stuff like that. So I've won a few of those. And one of these days I'll tell my whole story about how I got into photography and how it became a way I could provide for my family and how I became pretty successful at it. But just I might post some of my photos and have a contest where if you guys do certain things or donate certain amount of money, you're eligible for like photos that I took. And anyway, I'm still mulling it around. I want to give something for, I don't want to go out and say, hey, can you give me money to go to Colorado? I want to actually do something for that. So anyway, but I would love to get out there again. I've got a lot of ideas of things I could do when I'm out there. And plus I would like to be there when they have the vigil. I missed the last one. Tyson and Chappie went when we were all working together, and I had to stay behind, but then I went up there by myself. So anyway, just putting that thought in your head, but I'm going to wrap it up. I appreciate y'all being here. Excuse me. So, yeah, I got lost in the comments again. Sorry. But anyway, I appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed yet, do it. I'm up at 15:55 before I started the show. So I'm pretty excited about that. That's going to be, it says set up a PayPal. I do have a PayPal. All right. If you guys go to, I'm glad you brought that up, Brenda. If you guys go to the description of this video, my PayPal address is in there. If you would love to donate, and if you want me to, what I look at it as is you're helping fund me to go out there and get more answers. So I want to earn the money. If you guys do donate, I don't want to just ask for it but excuse me. Once I get monetized, I can make merchandise, and then you guys can make your comments, and you go up to the top, whatever. But if you want to donate PayPal, I would really appreciate it, and I could start looking into travel options or whatever. My last trip out there to Salida, somebody sent me a plane ticket, which was awesome. I wasn't expecting that, and they're like, "Hey, I'll pay for your plane ticket if you go out there and get some drone shots." And I was like, "Holy moly, that's awesome!" So, yeah, so that was amazing. So, anyway, yeah. So I don't remember the name of my PayPal. Let me look and see if I have it. I'm pretty sure it's in the comments. I put it on usually put it on everyone. Let me just make sure that I just looked at my subscribers. It's at 1563 now. Thank you guys. All right, content. Yeah. It just says paypal.me/Dusty Draper. Real easy. So if you guys want to donate, I'd appreciate it. And I will be so grateful for that if I get to go and help honor Suzanne and help find some more answers. So 30th of April. I saw that, Martin. That's her birthday. And I will I already have the shirts and stuff designed. I'm just waiting. What I'm waiting for is I've met every qualification they have for being monetized. I just have to wait for them to approve it. And it says it's under review right now. And I don't know what's taking so long, to be honest with you, because I know what happened before. They said I already had they said you already have a Google AdSense account because it's on Tyson's channel, because I'm the one that signed up for it. So I had to use a different email and stuff. I hope they're not listening to that. Don't listen, YouTube. Yeah, it still says in progress. So. All right. I appreciate you guys. And, see, what you do is you get 1,000 subscribers and then 4,000 watch hours. I might get almost at 8,000 now because it's taking them so long. And, yeah. Yep. Oh, thank you, Nicole. I appreciate that. There it is. All right. Appreciate you guys. I'm going to go in and get something to eat and go to bed. And be looking for some cold calls and some weekend rundown. I got to help some people move this weekend. So hopefully I'll get all that done. But I might have to just do a quick live or something. But all right, guys. Appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out. Adios.